Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for Dragon Ball Daima, episode 6, review and discussion. And your boy is going to keep it completely honest with you. I've had a rough day. I'm tired. I want to sleep, but we need to get through this. Like, we need to get caught up tonight, all right? So that we're ready for episode 7 that is going to be premiering this Friday. And of course, I'm going to have my thoughts on the English dub of Daima coming out sometime later this week. But we'll be reviewing Daima episode 7 either Friday night or Saturday night, one of the two. But tonight we're going to focus on episode 6. So episode 6 is the latest episode of Daima. I watched it last night after doing my episode 5 review, and I gotta say, man, like episode 6, I thought episode 5 was really good. I thought episode 5 was probably the best episode of the series so far. And then I watched episode 6 and I was like, never mind. Because episode 6, I think, is probably the best episode of Daima so far. And the reason why I say that is because we got one of my favorite things. Well, two of my favorite things in this episode that I like from any story. And that is lore and world building. Oh my goodness, did we get a lot of lore and world building in this episode? In fact, I would say that's probably the primary takeaway from this episode is the lore and the world building. Well, there is the Glorio stuff and Supreme Kai giving Glorio the side eye, like, I don't know about you, buddy. What's up with you, buddy? What's going on, Glorio? Like, what's happening, man? Why don't you be honest? Why don't you just come clean? Why don't you show us all your cards? I thought we were friends. I thought we were pals. What's happening, Gloria? And this episode does give like a major hint as to who Gloria is actually working for. And we'll jump into it. We'll jump into it. Andrew, what is up, my friend? SSJ Kid Goku was badass. Yeah, he was absolutely badass, man. He looked good too, man. He looked good. Like the design looked really, really good. I don't know what it is, but even like in GT, like there was something about Kid Goku as a Super Saiyan that just like it has style, man. It's got style. It looks good. It looks really, really good. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it, but there's something about Kid Goku as a Super Saiyan that just feels right. And I don't know exactly why. But yeah, it looked good. It looked real good. All right. So let's dive into this episode. First thing first. So the plane crashed. Um, Pansy's having to repair it, and they end up being cornered by Goma's soldiers as they're repairing the plane. And thankfully, as they're being cornered by Goma's soldiers, Goku is out taking a poo. Goku takes a poo. Thankfully, Pansy brought toilet paper. Thank God. Seriously, thank God. You know how disgusting that would be otherwise? Like, people always want to talk about, like, oh, I want to go back to the past and live off the land and blah, blah, blah. Man, fuck that. I ain't giving up indoor plumbing. I ain't giving up toilet paper. I ain't taking a shit in an outhouse or behind a bush like Goku does in this episode. Are you crazy? No, no. You know, Goku's taking a poo while these soldiers show up, right? And they're looking for Goku. Goku's a wanted man, or a wanted kid, I should say. They're looking for Goku because Goku interrupted their. Well, let's be honest with you. It would have been the execution of that old man back in episode 4 because he probably didn't have a lot of life left, and they were going to steal his life. Um, so, or his some years of his life, and very likely could have died. And Goku interrupted that. So Goku's a wanted kid. Now you may ask, okay, why weren't they going after Pansy? Because Pansy also interrupted that whole situation. Well, remember, she was dressed in a mask, so they don't know what Pansy looks like. Plus, Pansy is also the princess of the third demon. Keep that in mind. Andrew says that's why Super Saiyan Goten looks good. Yeah, Goten looks good, man. Goten's got a nice design. Um, but yeah, like so Goku thankfully is off answering the call of nature while Goma's soldiers show up. And after they leave, this is where we start to get our first bit of lore. And I gotta say, this was interesting because it both goes along with something that was established before. Like we've talked a lot about as we've been doing these reviews, we've talked a lot about the Supreme Kai race, or the Kai race in general, where Supreme Kai comes from, how they apparently come from the demon realm, which was confirmed in this episode. They do originate from the demon realm. So we've been talking a lot about the Kai race, about the Glind, or as we called them before Daima was a thing. Uh, is this a bot? This has got to be a bot. This has got to be a bot. Yeah, this has got to be a bot. Yo, One Gun, what's up?
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
Yo, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing okay, man. You said stop by, so
Yeah,
stopping by.
Anytime.
Yeah, just came here to chill out for a few minutes before I get ready to go to sleep or whatever I'm going to do next. But man, freak, I forgot to watch this episode, man. But that's all right. You can spoil it.
All right. No, I feel that, bro. Like I'm sleepy as fuck right now. Like I work in a furniture store, and we had like 60 pieces of furniture come in.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted. But I gotta get caught up with this Daima shit. So we're here. We gotta do this.
Catch me up, man. Catch me up.
So yeah. So how far along are you in Daima?
I think the last episode was the one before this one. I think it was. I'm not too sure. I need to. Let me even with Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll won't lie to me.
Was it when they met like Pansy's father, like the third?
I think so. I think that's last week's episode.
Okay, yeah. So this one, we got a lot of lore, man. We got a lot of lore. I was just going over how, like there's been this whole thing with the Kai race and like the origin of the Kais and how they apparently come from the demon realm, and they're called the Glind. And in this episode, it got confirmed. Well, so Toriyama said before Daima, actually way before Daima, this is like 15 years ago or something. Like he explained the origin of the Kais. It's like they're grown from like these divine trees, and they're like grown from fruits, and like the Supreme Kais come from like golden fruits off of this tree. And then like the Makaioshin, like the evil Supreme Kais, are supposed to come from like rotten fruit, and they're like cast into the demon world and stuff. And back in that interview, like he referred to the Kai race as the Shinjin, which translates to core people. And then it was explained like, like they live on this planet where they like study various subjects, and then like eventually some are selected to be the Kais, essentially.
Right.
Now, in this episode, some of that got reestablished as canon. Some of that has changed. So they're not called the Shinjin, they're called the Glind. That was revealed like a few episodes ago. They're called the Glind. And they do grow from trees. That was confirmed in this episode. They do grow from trees. But apparently the trees are not on like this separate planet out there like was originally believed. The trees are in the demon world.
Right.
So they grow on trees in the demon world. And we learn that Supreme Kai's siblings, Degasu and Dr. Arenzu, the reason that they're his siblings is not because they had like a mommy and a daddy Kai or anything like that. It's because they grew from the same tree.
Right.
Yeah. There's like 5 different Glen trees. And like apparently Shin, our Supreme Kai, Degasu and Arenzu all grew from the same tree.
Okay.
So that's why they're siblings. And in fact, they also confirmed...
So they're siblings because they're the same fruit from the same tree?
They're siblings because they all grew from the same tree.
Same tree.
So
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Imagine like you have an apple tree, and then like you have different apples growing on it, and so each apple is like a sibling,
Right.
essentially. Which is interesting because Goku brings up in this episode, he says to Supreme Kai, "So you're like a plant. That explains why you never need to eat and you only drink."
Yeah, that is true. And you need sunlight. Sunlight too. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
So it's
They're plant
interesting.
people. They're plant people.
Yeah. And so that goes along with what Toriyama established before about the Kai race. But the way he described it before, it was like they had like their own planet they lived on, and like there was like these schools, there were like castles and stuff. That seems to have been thrown out, and it's being more tied into the demon world. Although, to be fair, it is also revealed that at some point the Glens left the demon realm. So what about the trees? Did they like uproot the trees and then replant them somewhere, or
I don't know, man. I hate it when they just make up this lore because they leave so much shit open. That's a good question. Where the hell are the trees?
yeah, or is it like they're born in the demon realm and then like other Kais show up every once in a while and they're like, we taking these kids? I mean, like what's happening?
Oh, they don't know. Guarantee you, they don't know. This shit's man, Jesker. I should have watched the episode because
I'm just trying to, because again, I've like lived and died by that interview for years and years and years.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying and make this all make sense. And again, like some of it's like going along with what Toriyama said before, like the trees and the Kais growing from them and stuff. Like that's all fine. But now I'm like wondering, like, okay, like how do they get out of the like? What is Zeno like? What is the Omni King? How does he play into this? Like, did the Kais escape from the demon realm and Zeno just showed up one day on their planet and said, "Hey, I want you guys to be gods"? Like, I mean, like, how did they become gods?
That's a good question. I mean, a god is like an all-powerful being of creation, demonstration, and stuff like that. So they must have something like that to be a god, right?
Well,
unless they're really, unless they're super powerful, people because they're so powerful, people look at them as gods and they call them gods, but they're not really gods. They're just strong beings. It's confusing right now. It's very confusing.
Well, in some ways, like the role of a god is simply just a job in Dragon Ball. I mean, like you can have like different destroyer gods, and like you can have replacements for those destroyer gods. Kami was the god of Earth, and that job is like the person holding that job is replaceable.
I got a question. Jesker. Do the things that happen in Dragon Ball Super apply to Daima? Is Daima in the same canon as the rest of? Because we know Dragon Ball Super comes right after Kai, right? I mean, that happens. No, Dragon Ball GT doesn't, but we know Kai and Super are both all in the same canon and timeline. It's freaking Daima now, so we got to think about, is Daima in the same canon with the other two?
It fits in the timeline because Daima takes place a year after the fight with Kid Buu, whereas Super is like 3 or 4 years after the fight with Kid Buu.
Oh, okay. I remember you saying that. So this happens before Super.
Yeah, they haven't met. They don't even know Beerus is a thing. Like they don't even know he exists.
So the timeline for this is then Dragon Ball Z Kai. Then Kai is the one that comes before this.
Right.
Forget GT. It's just Kai and this and then Super. So they're actually telling us the story what happens, the timeline between Kai and Super.
Right.
So
at this point in the story, Beerus is still asleep.
Correct. He's still asleep because that's why I was asking you all this stuff. Because I was about to ask you about Beerus. Like, okay, so where is Beerus? Where does this time take place? So if that's true, well then, yeah, Beerus is not there because I think Beerus would be able to answer those questions. I think that's one person that could answer all these questions.
Yeah. Beerus is still asleep. He's still having his cat nap, quite literally.
Yeah, basically.
But it's again, like I just wonder like how the Omni King comes into all of this. Like how do the Kais go from being this demon realm race to becoming the gods of the universes? Like, because again, like the way that it works is that Supreme Kais specifically are gods of creation.
Yeah,
They have the power to seed planets with life.
that is true. Well,
And
from what I understand, if you have a bunch of people claiming to be something, that means something over them ordained them with that ability.
right.
So we don't
So
know who ordained it, and I think that's going to be the one thing that we're going to learn about. And I think that I bet you one of the things, because Beerus is over the Kais, right? No, Beerus is like
he's he's equal to the Supreme Kai.
he's equal to the Supreme Kai.
Yeah.
And we got to figure out, who's above the Supreme Kai. I don't know who's above the Supreme Kai. This is just theory. This is just theory.
It would have to be just the Omni King, Zeno.
And
Because the way the god hierarchy works is that each planet has its individual god. That would be like Kami or Dende for Earth.
right.
And then above that would be like the regular Kais who like watch over a certain area of space. So that would be like King Kai, for example.
Right, right.
And then above that would be the Grand Kai who oversees those lower Kais.
Right.
And then above Grand Kai is the Supreme Kais, and they oversee both the mortal universe and the afterlife.
Okay, and then then Beerus is over them, right? Am I right?
No, Beerus is equal to them.
Okay, Beerus is equal to them. So
right.
So there is another level there. I mean, it's because I think what they're going to do. I think they're going to introduce brand new Kais, the most powerful Kais. That's what I think they're going to do.
I think there's somebody. I think there's somebody above Zeno.
Yep, I think that's what they're going to do. I mean, because they're like, because people keep on asking where all these characters come from, whatever. And I think the answer is like, how does it really work in this universe? And I think that's what this this Dragon Ball Daima is about. I think it's about the whole actual structure of where the universe began. I mean that's what I get.
Yeah, because the thing is, it's like Zeno seems so immature. I just don't see like Zeno being able to create all these universes, being able to like coming up with this structure, this hierarchy of gods, and like obviously he can wipe them out of existence, but I just feel like there has to be somebody that's more competent above Zeno.
It has to be. I mean, valid questioner. It has to be somebody above him. Zeno, he's like a doofus or whatever you want to call him, but he might be just there taking care of the place while somebody else is doing something. Maybe somebody left him in charge. We don't know. I mean, we can speculate, but I mean, those are plausible ideas.
Yeah, I do find like the whole god system Toriyama set up to be one of the most fascinating aspects of his universe.
Right.
But yeah, like that's one reason why I'm loving Daima right now is that it's adding so much lore and world building, and like I'm really interested to like see how this develops.
Yeah, I like it. I like the way it's going. It's giving us more. It's adding to the universe already. Dragon Ball has so much lore. I mean, it's so much. You're talking about a character that evolved from a baby all the way up to one of the greatest champions in our universe. And the story of Goku, man, of Dragon Ball Z, is so well thought up. And to sit back and make a character and a hero and fall into all his past and life and stuff like that. It's just amazing story, and Dragon Ball Daima is just like the icing on the cake because it's going to even take us more in depth into the Dragon Ball series, the canon,
which is interesting because Toriyama never intended Dragon Ball to get this big. It was just supposed to be it was really just supposed to be like the first arc, like the Pilaf saga. It was supposed to be just a
Mhm.
parody of Journey to the West, and then it evolved into what it is today.
Yeah, I think you did it. Yeah, you're right because you had Dragon Ball, then you had Dragon Ball Z that came after it, and I think like he probably like I think Dragon Ball Z is like an expansion of the original series because like you said, he probably didn't plan past Pilaf. All right. He was
Yeah.
probably planning like the end it, whatever. But the thing about it is, he got innovative. It's like, how can I innovate the story of my story? How can I innovate what I've done? So what do? He went ahead and pushed gave Goku kids and expanded on the Saiyan race, expanded on those superhero fighters here on our planet and bad guys. I mean, he did a good job expanding the universe, and he just kept on with it. He just kept on with it, and it's great, if I understand, the Dragon Ball franchise is almost as big, or makes about as much money as the Star Wars franchise. So he's done pretty good.
Yeah, man, it's up there. I mean, it's like Toriyama made oodles of money off of this shit.
Yeah.
Like ungodly amounts of money. And now that he's gone, that's passed to his children. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just, and I mean, talking about like how Goku growing up and stuff. That's the thing about Dragon Ball. You don't see that happen with a lot of main characters. Them like growing
Mm-hmm.
up, starting families, and the story just keeps going. Like you don't see that very often.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Usually that's like the end of the story, and then it's over.
Right. Yeah. Totally.
But funny story about that. Toriyama actually threatened to end the series if Shonen Jump didn't allow him to age Goku up. Because Shonen, this was like back before the fight with Piccolo Jr. Shonen Jump was telling Toriyama like, no, we want Goku to stay as a kid. And he was like, listen, I'm gonna have him grow up, and if you don't let me have him grow up, then I'm just gonna end the series. And it was making so much money for that magazine. They were like, okay, now we can all be reasonable gentlemen about this, right?
Right. I think he got inspiration for Z. Z is supposed to be like the team, the Dragon Ball team, and he basically took the idea from the Avengers because he took the hero idea from basically how we do comics over here and applied it to there, and he built from there. But they had another thing like Z over in Japan. Anything with the Z logo on it means team. That's why every time you see them do one of the Power Ranger type shows or whatever, it's always got the Z in it because Z means team. From what somebody told me, what the translation was. But Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball itself, is basically what I wished for Superman. I wished for Clark Kent to have, gotten older, had a kid, and the kid did everything, that Clark Kent, it was actually better than Clark Kent. I just wanted Superman to follow the same path as Goku. And over here, we didn't get that. We got something totally stupid. But it's like whatever, man. I'm just ranting. And I'm just ranting and beef because, I see how cool the character Goku is, and then I see how lame our character Superman is. I'm just angry. That's all.
I think that's why in a lot of ways manga is superior to American comics is because there's actually a sense of progression.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's like we're not going back, we're not resetting the status quo. It just keeps going and going, and it just goes further along, and it feels like it's actual progression, like we're getting somewhere.
Right. I like Dragon Ball because everything is set in stone. There's no going back and changing somebody. There's no going back and race, not race swapping, but gender swapping and race swapping characters. Everything's set in stone. If they want something like that, they would make it. They would make it fresh and new, And we don't do that over here. We
do reboots. See, like Andrew's bringing up, like Superman does marry Lois and have John Kent Superboy. That's true until they do a reboot.
Yeah, So
they always reset the universe.
Yeah, I mean, but I think like maybe when they reboot the next universe, maybe Clark Kent's son won't be gay. You know, maybe he'll actually be a teenage kid doing teenage things and not her protesting and doing other bullshit. You know, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping if they reboot the universe, I just hope they give us a normal kid going through normal issues. Now it's okay if he's in school and he's dating a girl, you know, and he has a friend, his friend can be gay or whatever. They could put that stuff in there, but they don't have to like play with the legacy like that, you know.
Yeah.
I want to see them create new stuff. I want them to push our characters to new levels. I want them to create characters that we haven't seen yet, you know, over here, you know, because and that's why I love Dragon Ball. That's why I love Dragon. If I ever create something, like I ever want to create a hero who grows up and becomes a big time hero, leading a pack of other heroes, I would actually look at the way Dragon Ball was done over the past like 35 years. You know, I would look at that. That would be my analog because he did it right. You know, he did it right.
Yeah, every time I go back to Dragon Ball, especially because there's always new stuff coming out now, to me, it just feels like I've grown up with these characters and I'm living my life alongside them.
Right. I feel the same way, dude. You know, Dragon Ball, when it came over here, when it was actually a dub and came over here, it was like the late 80s, maybe around 88, 89 when it came over here. And I do believe I was, I think I was 15 or 16 years old when it came over here. And I grew up with it. I kept track of it. You know, I didn't really get into Dragon Ball until what's that guy's name? Brian Denham. He's an artist for Rob Liefeld at the time. Mm-hmm. And he showed up. He came to St. Louis and he was signing books, you know. And he was like, "What's up with Dragon Ball?" You know, he was talking to somebody else. And I just overheard the conversation. And I was like, "Oh, you watch Dragon Ball too?" It's like, "Yeah." I say, like what you mean? Like he pulled out this book and showed me these dudes with these fucking yellow hair, black hair. I'm like, and it had Dragon Ball. It had Dragon Ball and a bunch of Japanese red. I was like, "That's Dragon Ball?" I was like, "Who are these people Dragon Ball?" And he pointed to that and said, "That's Goku." I was like, "Okay."
Did he also say, "Listen, this is Goku. Give it a couple of years, the whole world is going to know his name"?
Yeah, they did. But before the whole world knew who his name was, because like I said, Dragon Ball just made it over here, and Dragon Ball Z, because he told me last thing Oregon, I said, "What is this?" He's like, "It's Dragon Ball Z. It's new stuff." Because remember, this was a long time ago. Dragon Ball Z just hit over there. You know, it just hit. You know, so we had comic book conventions here. This is pre-internet. This was before everybody had it. I knew this guy at this show. He was on the show. And he always had anime. He had all the anime, and it was a big show. So I went to the show with me and my friend, and I asked him, like, "What do you know about Dragon Ball?" It's like, I know about the stuff that's over here. He's a little kid, but I heard he grew up. He's like, "Oh yeah, I got that." I was like, "You do?" He's like, "Yeah, I got it. I don't have the series, but I got the movies." I was like, "What?" And they just released. He got bootleg VHSs of the movies that were just released over there, and they were dubbed. So before I do anything about Dragon Ball, right, I had these two movies, and in these two movies there was Goku, and one of the movies that I had was Broly, the first appearance of Broly, right? Yep. So and that's I watched that one first. The other one was the one where he goes Super Saiyan 3 and his trunks and the little whistle and shit like that.
Wrath of the Dragon.
Yeah, fuck that.
No, that's a good movie, man.
Broly beats all. The first Dragon Ball movie with Broly beats them all because Broly was so fucking badass, dude.
I mean, yeah, but I mean that doesn't mean that Wrath of the Dragon is bad.
Okay, I watched it. It was good, but it wasn't as good as fucking Broly. Broly turned day to fucking night by yelling. All right,
dude, he powered up so hard, like his skin came off. It was wild, man.
Broly kicked ass, boy. I mean, I thought they were gonna die. You know, he killed his dad, all that shit. I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome.
The way he killed Paragus in that movie was insane. He got in that little Saiyan space pod. Broly just came in there and just crushed him like a soda can, and then threw him into the fucking comet. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
He took down everybody. I thought Vegeta had a chance. Vegeta did his best, all right? I never seen Vegeta do his best. Vegeta does, like, Vegeta demolish you, you know, and Vegeta did the best he could. He couldn't fade the dude. It's like Goku couldn't fade him. They all had to combine their powers, right? To fucking fuck up Broly, man. I was like, I don't know what Dragon Ball is, but I gotta watch it die. I gotta find this.
Man, you know what was probably the most vicious scene in that entire movie, though, is when he was standing in front of those slave aliens that they had.
Ooh, destroyed the planet. Yeah.
Yeah, he said, I notice you like to look up at your precious planet every night. You probably dream of going back someday, but it's just a dream. And then he just fires the blast at him and you think he's going to kill them. But now the blast like boomerangs and it blows up the planet. And they're just devastated. And I'm like, holy shit.
Dude, that's what I was saying too. I was like, this is a bad motherfucker.
I was like, this man has got to die.
Yeah, so that was my first time getting Dragon Ball Z. The series didn't make it over here. We just had those 2 VHSs that we watched like I would watch it at my house, maybe go to my friend's house, and we was like telling everybody about this because it didn't make it over here yet, you know. And then I think maybe how many years? Like 4 or 5 years after that, Dragon Ball Z came. Funimation got it and put it on CBS for Saturday morning cartoons. But they stripped a lot of shit out. They stripped a lot of shit out of it, you know.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know how much stripped the shit out of it. Not shit, but stripped out of it. Until I got my hands on a copy of it. You know, I actually somebody was able to get me some fresh copies from Japan. You know, of some VHSs. So I had those. So I was like, well, let's compare. And all the stuff I said, I was like, yeah, this version sucks. Like our version sucks because they changed because I thought that when Goku went down into hell, it was called the Home for Infinite Losers, but it was called Hell. It was Hell on his shirt. They changed it. It was Hell. So I'm like, okay, all right. They fucked my show up. And
let's not forget the famous line. I'm going to send you to the next dimension.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like they did everything but try to say that hell existed, the word hell existed, and the word kill doesn't exist in this universe because when you died in Dragon Ball, you died, you know, you went to hell, you know, and they wrote all that shit out, you know, they wrote all of it out, and thank God we had Dragon Ball Z Kai that came and fixed all that. Dragon Ball Z Kai fixed all that. It got back to its roots and it didn't edit out shit. You know, it was just straightforward through. It was remastered. It looked very nice. And because you think about how I watch these shows, right? I watched that show back in the day on VHS, you know, and that shit was blurry as fuck. You know, when I look at that tape now, my friends still had some tape that survived these last 20 some odd, almost 30 years. And I actually said, let's put this in and see how it looks now. And that shit was blurry as fuck, man. I'm like, what is this? Like, it's like 360p or some shit. But yeah, man, but that's what I grew up on, man. I grew up on bootleg VHS of anime. And I think the next movies we got after that, next Dragon Ball movie I got after that, that was good to get my hands on, was when Trunks and Goten went up against Broly, and it was
Bio Broly. Ugh.
Yeah, Bio Broly. That was like that was not as good as when Broly was first introduced,
That is
But
the most dog shit movie of them all.
it was not. It was not good. You know, it was not good. But I just want to see Broly again, and I was like, I miss Broly. I mean, they did me wrong when they killed him at the end. But I have not watched Dragon Ball Super when he comes back. So I heard he comes back in Dragon Ball Super. I have not watched all
Yeah,
Dragon Ball Super.
but keep in mind, like the new Broly is not. It's literally not the same character.
Yeah. They had a movie. They had a recent movie with Broly in it, like a Return of Broly.
Yeah,
Didn't they?
no, yeah, but it's not. What I'm saying is, it's Toriyama's version of Broly.
Oh,
Like
so
he doesn't have the exact same backstory.
why did they change him?
Because it's Toriyama's, and because remember, Toriyama did not create any of the movie characters.
Really?
Yeah, like the all the Z movies, like the Garlic Jr. stuff, Tree of Might, Broly, Janemba, that none of that was Toriyama. That's all Toei
Oh,
animated.
so it's not canon. That's
Right.
okay. All right.
So Toriyama, what he did was he took Broly and he was like, okay, this is my interpretation of the character.
That's weird to sit back and
Now, like
that's weird to look at that because he didn't create it, but he has to pretend that he created it. Right? That's what he's doing.
yeah, so like the Broly in this new movie honestly is a more complex character.
Huh. I gotta watch them. I think the movie's on Crunchyroll. I'm gonna watch that, man. Because I've been wanting to watch it for years. I know it came out maybe like a little over 6 years ago or something like that. You know.
Yeah.
So I have not seen it because I said I wanted to watch Dragon Ball Super. No way for you to watch that movie. But I just think I was go ahead and just watch it because I've been procrastinating on Dragon Ball Super. I think I got like the first 20 episodes in the Dragon Ball Super and I stopped watching it because I got tired of waiting for it to come on Adult Swim. I said I'm just gonna wait for it for the release. I'm just gonna wait for the end of the series, go back and rewatch it. You know,
Dude, it's a good movie, and I like this new Broly's not going around saying Kakarot all the time. Like that's not his gimmick. He's way more. There's way more depth to him. He's way more complex, and I honestly think he's better written.
really,
than the old Broly.
I like the psychotic Broly. I kind of like that psychotic Broly. You know,
but he's not a very deep character.
that one wasn't. I mean, but I don't know. I mean, I have
Hold
to
up,
compare.
we got a super chat from my boy Andrew Rowland. Super Broly is way better than the original. I agree.
You think so? I gotta see. Now that you say it, I have to see that. I have to see it. I'm gonna have to try to see that and go and watch Jorgamon because you know that's our assignment, right?
What now?
To watch. Remember for Katie's show, we gotta do Jorgamon.
What the fuck is what's Jergamon?
Wasn't you on the show the other day on Katie's show?
No. I was sick last week.
Oh, you missed out, man. Yeah, it's we was talking about Black Lagoon, and I told them about this show that's like if you like Black Lagoon, you're gonna love the show because it's basically the same thing, but you know,
what's Jergamon?
Jormond? It's German, not Jergamon, Germon. Let me get it for you. Let me pull
Is that some kind of Digimon?
No, that's anime. It's very
what Digimon's anime?
Digimon's anime, but this is called Germon. It's called it's called Germon or something. Let me find it, man. Let me not confuse you no more. Let me find it and then I'll send it to you.
Andrew's right. Broly in the super movie, like the whole Goku crying thing, like that just doesn't exist in the with the new Broly.
Yeah,
like his grudge is not against Goku; it's actually against Vegeta.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to post this in the anime green room. All right, and I just posted it in the anime green room. Just go and click on it. It'll take you straight to Crunchyroll, and you'll be able to see it.
All right, hold up.
I think that's what we're going to be watching and reviewing in the upcoming stream.
Oh, what the hell is this?
Oh man, it's good. It's some good shit. If you like I said, we were watching Black Lagoon. I forgot all about this. I watched it. That came out back in the early 2000s, maybe somewhere between 2010, 2012.
Was this ever on Adult Swim?
This was that was never on Adult Swim.
Huh?
That never made it to Adult Swim.
Okay, yeah, because I'm thinking early 2000s.
Yeah, 2012. I think somewhere between 2008 and actually 2010 to around 2012, somewhere around there. It came on.
Okay.
It came out. It came out. I mean, I watched that. Like, I watched the download. Like the what the pirated versions of it. All right, it never made it over here on TV whatsoever. So
what's the plot? Just the plot synopsis.
It's been a while since I watched it, so let me go over here and read this to you. Child soldier Jonah is the newest member of the mercenary squad employed by Coco, an international arms dealer. The cold-blooded kid carries a deep hatred for those in Coco's line of work, but follows her into the darkest corners of the black market. Might be his only shot at finding the merchant of death responsible for the slaughter of his family.
Okay, so, I see why you say this is kind of like Black Lagoon.
Yeah. If you watch it, because we talk about Black Lagoon, like, I can't believe a lot of people slept on this. A lot of people slept on this, and
a lot of people may have slept on it because didn't Black Lagoon come out around the same time?
This was after Black. This is like right after Black Lagoon. This came out. Right after.
Black Lagoon that long ago?
Yeah, it was Black Lagoon. That was a long time ago.
why am I thinking Black Lagoon was like 2010s or something? Like
it's because that's probably when it came over here and got dubbed. You know.
Okay, yeah.
I watched it. True. Yeah, I watched Black Lagoon way back in 2006. You know, when me and my friends used to download that shit off the internet. You know, when the internet was bumping and you could download anything, we downloaded all the anime you get. That's how I found out about Naruto way back in 2000 and shit. Fuck. Hold on, let me get myself right here.
So you were like involved in like the anime underground, because I remember like back in the day. Well, I don't remember it, but like because I wasn't around back then. But I was born like probably right in the middle of that, and by the time I got old enough to where I was like watching TV and stuff, like Toonami was already a thing. But
yeah,
like I know back before Toonami and Kids WB and stuff, like when anime was really getting popularized, like it existed in America, but it was like bootlegs, and it was like
that's how we got it. You know, that's how we got it. We always at the you have to go to comic book shows, conventions, and we made sure that we always went to all the conventions. And what we would do is make sure you carried a lot of money with you, because some of that shit was expensive, especially the Laserdisc shit that comes straight from Japan. And we had to we had to do a lot. We had to do a lot of work, man. We had to do a lot of work to get what we wanted. And what they didn't have, like, we will always use. It was one book out there. It was, I think, New Type was over here at the time, and we would go and read New Type and anime. What's the name of that fucking book? It's another book, and they will have it listed like the new shit that's coming out over in Japan. And we will run to the convention and go to our guy and like, listen, man, we want to get this. We want this. We want that. Can you get it? He'd be like, I gotta get that from Japan, man. I gotta get that. My friend in Japan to get the VHS ready. So he will get them. I mean, he'll get that shit FedEx to him, you know, and by the time we get to us, you know, when we're paying like, you know, 30, 40, 50, maybe sometimes $100 for some tapes, you know, because it was.
But see, the thing is, though, you had to be careful, because you also had the unsavory characters. They were like, "Hey, kids, like I got a shit ton of anime over in my van over here. You want to come check it out?"
No, we were teenagers. We were teenagers. We were like, "Hey, man, we ain't stupid. We know you gonna pull your penis out on us. Yeah, get away from us." You know, we weren't stupid, man.
You need to come down to the cellar. I got a bunch of anime down in the cellar.
Yeah. Put the anime on the ground and walk away. You know, that's what we had to do it back then. Yeah, it was perverts back then, man, doing this shit. But we made sure we stay clear. You can see them out. You can see them and smell them a mile away. You know, that's how it was, man. I think you probably would have liked the good old bootlegging days of anime, man, because it was just such a underground culture, man. You either in or you're out. You knew this, you know, and you was always on top, you know. But you know, we have a large Asian community here in St. Louis, you know, and they were usually the ones who traveled out in town. And once they found out that they could go over there to Japan and and record a week's worth of cartoons and then bring them over here and make bank, those motherfuckers clipped up.
Oh, that reminds me. I remember you remember those old VHS tapes where you could like they were like blank tapes and you could record television and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I did that so much back in the day, bro.
Who didn't? Who did?
And it was always anime. It was always
Mm-hmm.
anime.
Yeah. I did that too. You know, it was like Robotech, Galaxy Rangers, and shit like that. That like really got me excited about animation in general. You have Voltron, and maybe I don't know if you probably never heard this cartoon. It's called Mighty Orbots. That Mighty Orbots was a Japanese animated film made specifically for American TV shows. It's sad that it only lasted 12 episodes, but this was back in 1983, going over to 84. And it was unique for its time because that show came on and it was different. It didn't look like all the other cartoons that came on Saturday morning. The colors were vibrant. The characters moved like really, really cool, like and stuff like that. And what happened is that another show came out. It was called Robotech, and that show looked weird too because of the way the characters move, the stories, the robots, people piloting robots. And let's not forget, also even before those two showed up, I had Battle of the Planets. That looked different. So I'm like, why could these cartoons look different and do all this stuff and this do that? And it wasn't until like around 84, 85, I found out is that my friend told me it's this thing called Japanese animation. I'm like, what the fuck is that? He was like, hey man, it's stuff from Japan. Like,
wait. Were you like, what the fuck is Japan?
I was doing that too because when we was coming up, they didn't teach us about other people's cultures and shit like that. They was barely teaching us about our culture over here.
Y'all straight, dude. When I was a kid, for the longest, when people would say we live in a free country, I thought, oh, that means we get to we don't have to buy anything; it's all free.
Correct.
I had no idea. Oh, it means there's some really fucked up places in the world where you can't do even half the shit that we're allowed to do here.
Right. So growing up, and then it wasn't until when I was able to get older and work, like start cutting grass and making money cutting grass and shit like that. And during the summer was great because like we were starting. You could find people selling like Shonen Jump and manga, a little manga here, and then the anime scenes, the underground anime scene started to blossom here, and you actually had people like having like books from over Japan, robots, toys, and shit from Japan, and I'm like. Just like, why come these robots from Japan are cooler than the robots over here? Why they're moving, they got joints, and then on top of that, you can break them apart and make more little robots out of them. We learned, it was a growing thing, man. It wasn't until like when I got older and had like a part-time job and I was able to have a little more money in my pocket where I started going out and going and buying, renting out. It was a one place here that had a place where you could go and rent out like Japanese animation, straight from Japan. And they actually dubbed the shit inside the store. So the guy was dubbing stuff, was getting the stuff, dubbing it, not dubbing it, but adding subtitles to it. The subtitles, he was putting subtitles in the shit at the store and then putting the shit out there to rent out, And I was like, fuck, man. Like I learned so much. I learned a lot. I learned about a lot of different animes and I think the anime that changed my life was Akira and Wicked City. Those are the two big ones that changed my life. Because I'm like, wow.
You're talking about like some of those like 80s, like 70s and 80s anime.
Mm-hmm.
Before Dragon Ball, the trajectory of shonen was sci-fi.
Yeah, it was.
And then Dragon Ball came along and completely changed that to where it became battle manga.
Yeah, it became fight manga. You had Fist of North. Yeah, like Fist of North Star. And you had other ones. I can't really name them off the top of my head, but a lot of it was like basically basically you had a protagonist, and then you had the protagonist's goal of being the best, or you have the protagonist who would be the one to get dogged out and have to rescue somebody. But in order to do accomplish goal, he had to learn how to fight and fight many foes and boost his power up and shit. Dragon Ball put a science to it, a science to how this shit can work, and that's how you got the Bleach. That's how you got the Naruto's. That's how you got all the stuff that you kids like today. It all started back then, with people like the guy who created Dragon Ball. Because everybody, like, when this shit got real popular, emulation was evident. Everybody wanted to make their own same shit.
Yep. I tell people, I'm like, listen, if you don't have Dragon Ball, you don't get Bleach. You don't get Naruto. You don't get One Piece.
Right. You forget about one other one back then. Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yu Hakusho. Yeah.
You got to remember that guy right there. He made Hunter x Hunter and all that shit.
Yeah.
That dude right there. That dude, and you had that, and you had Dragon Ball, and the shit that came from there. And Hunter x Hunter, I think was like one of the last things he did or something like that. But I know that dude. He got sick. I know he got sick for a while, and he couldn't finish Hunter.
Yeah, he has really really terrible back problems.
Right, and
I mean, he was talking about it. Like, he said it's so bad, like his wife actually has to help him get on and off the toilet.
Right, and he couldn't finish it. So Hunter x Hunter was never completed. And I heard recently, within the last couple of years, that they're gonna try to finish it.
I think what he needs to do is he needs to come up with the story and then let his wife draw the manga, because his wife is the mangaka of Sailor Moon.
Yeah, sure. I mean, she can do it, but I think what he should do is, I think he should let his wife help him make the last one by writing it and then bring it on a new artist to finish it. I mean, I think that's what he should do. Because that guy's in some real serious pain, and I know it pains him more that he can't finish it. People have been waiting for the end of Hunter x Hunter for a long time. And I heard the end is coming. I heard a new anime is coming out. I also heard that he's going to finish the manga. So I don't know if the manga is finished and they're making the anime.
No, it's not. It's not.
Yeah, so no, I'm like, from when I was told this was years ago, that there will be another anime made and the manga will be finished. So I don't know what it is. Maybe they could have start the process back then. They ain't told nobody and kept it hush hush like they did with Toriyama in Dragon Ball Daima. But I don't know.
Yeah, where the manga is right now, they haven't even gotten to the Dark Continent yet. They're still not at the Dark Continent.
Wow. What's funny is Hunter x Hunter had like two different animes. They had the first one and then the second one. The second one was the best one, was the better one. For what people tell me, they said the first one was kind of but they said the second one was really good.
Yeah, because
they had he fought some. I forgot what the name of that character was. It looked like Supercell at the end. I forgot his name. I gotta watch it again. But when I saw Hunter x Hunter for the first time, I watched it on Netflix because I've heard about it. I saw it to download it a long time ago. I could have pirated it. I just never watched it, never cared for it because it looked stupid, right? It looked fucking stupid. I'm like, why the fuck am I gonna watch this anime about a kid in a fucking fishing pole? Fuck that show. And then I was like, okay, it's on Netflix. I can watch it for free. I ain't gotta download it. Let's watch it. And I watched it and I was like, I fucked up. I missed out.
Yeah.
I missed out.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. Like I have a very similar history with Hunter x Hunter. I'm like, oh man, I don't know about this. But then I found out it was made by the same guy that did Yu Yu
Hakusho. Yeah.
I was like, fuck, okay, I've got to check it out now because that's one of my favorite anime of all time.
When I saw the anime, I saw the anime from beginning to the very last episode, and I was just amazed. I'm like, I can't believe I passed this up. This was so fucking good. I'm like, how did I miss this? And then I did my research on it. I was like, okay, I gotta find who made this. I was like, oh, I fucked up. This is made by the guy who made Yu Yu Hakusho. I was like, I really fucked up.
Yeah, because bro, Yu Yu Hakusho to this day is one of the best fucking animes ever created.
It is. I actually started going back and rewatching it again because I remember the first time I watched it was I guess when it got adopted over here, and it was back like in the early 2000s, on Cartoon Network, and when Toonami first started, I guess I don't know, I could be wrong, but back then, that's when you had shows like Bleach pop out, and it was able to get Yu Hakusho. And my first time seeing Bleach, I didn't like it at first. I didn't like Bleach, but then I waited for a while, and then I just said, "Well, let's watch this random episode." It was good, so I went back and watched Bleach. Caught up on Bleach. Um, Bleach was good. Bleach got really good after. Bleach got really good um, when they went to Hector, even before Hector, but it was like 2 years of Bleach that wasn't really Bleach, because I don't know why he stopped doing the book or whatever. Fucking I don't know, but they got back to it and they did the Hector Mondo. Hector Mondo was like the best shit. I loved Hector Mondo because that's when he transformed and got that fucking skull, that fucking type of that fucking demon head skull thing that appears on his face. That was fucking awesome, man.
Bro, Aizen is still like one of the best anime villains.
Aizen from Bleach. I forgot what season was that. That was
Oh, dude, it's like he's like the main villain for like a good.
I know. I'm talking about to the end, like when he fought him and beat him and imprisoned him to the end.
Yeah, it's like the end of Hueco Mundo. It's like when they do fake Karakura Town and like he has the Hogyoku and he becomes transcendent. And then Ichigo does like the Don Guy training and
right. Yeah, it's I started liking Bleach because I think I like Bleach because I think it's the characters in Bleach that really set it apart from other animes. I think they had more unique characters. And sometimes than Naruto, because back in the day it was nothing but Bleach and Naruto. You was watching Bleach, you was downloading the newest episode of Bleach, and you're downloading the newest episode of Naruto, and you would watch the motherfuckers back to back. That's the way you did anime back in the day.
Speaking of Naruto, Madara Uchiha had one of the best introductions of any villain. Like this dude shows up, you've got this whole army of ninjas there, and he summons the fucking meteor. That thing is coming down, and you have the Tsuchikage just runs up there, and he uses his particle style to lessen the weight of the meteor, to make it light as a feather. Right. And Madara is just like, yeah, well done, Inoki. Well done. Very good. What are you going to do about the second one? And you got another fucking meteor coming out of the sky.
He was the ultimate bad guy.
Fuck.
He was the ultimate bad guy. I love that character. It saddened me that they ended the way they ended Naruto till they went to Boruto. I wish they would have went ahead and just animated that part of Naruto's life when him and I think it's Hitomi got together. I think they should have did their whole story arc. It wouldn't have to be long. Just do their whole story arc until he actually became Hokage. I think they missed a lot of shit. They went straight to Boruto.
Oh man,
yeah, Boruto was hard for me to watch. Boruto was really hard for me to watch because
I can't watch it.
Yeah, it was hard.
Like I've tried watching Boruto multiple times. I can't do it.
Yeah, I tried. I think I stuck around for like 30, 40 episodes, and it just got repetitive. I mean, they did have a couple of good arcs in there.
Yeah, it's got its good moments.
Yeah. It brought like what's his name? Hatoro. What's his name? Hatoro. I can't remember his name. But he was Naruto's apprentice.
Yeah.
Yeah, him. And he was the lead. He was the team. He played a role like Kakashi, and he took Sakura. He took Boruto, and what's his name? Uchimaru's what's his name? His son, the little fuck him.
Oh,
the kid with that white hair.
yeah. Fuck, what is his name? It's Mitsuki. Mitsuki.
Yeah, Mitsuki. So it was like it was like the rebirth of Team 7, and this dude right here, I'm like, we remember he was a kid, and now he's grown up and he's like taking on the role of Kakashi. I think that was a cool ass idea because I didn't expect it to happen. And come to think of it, I think he was going to be the next Kakashi because the way they had him in Boruto. And I think if they just would have played that, and like focused on him a little bit more, because he's stronger. I mean, he's really strong. He's a real strong ninja. You wouldn't expect that from back in the day when you used to chase after Naruto, calling him boss and all that stuff. I think it's Hataro. I think it's Hataro. That's his name, something like that. But yeah, I mean, I think they've missed a lot with Naruto. I think they didn't do what they could have done to make it more interesting. They made a lot of cool characters.
I think they should have just done ninjas in space. I mean, I'm being dead ass serious, because you bring in Kaguya, and by the way, fuck Kaguya. All right, like Kaguya being like the final villain of Naruto was absolutely some dog shit. Like, we didn't even find out who the fuck this bitch was until like the last 50 chapters of the series.
Yeah.
And then 20 chapters after she's introduced, she like Black Zetsu stabs Madara in the back. And she comes in and takes over as the final villain. I'm like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah,
like
I don't even know.
Madara has been set up and foreshadowed since the fucking Valley of the End fight at the end of part 1. Who the fuck is this bitch?
If that was the case, they should have introduced her like a long time ago. They should have like saying that the reason why Madara did the things he did because he was influenced by somebody. They should have did that back then. Therefore, when she finally showed up, it would be like, oh shit, she's been behind it the whole time. And
all they had to do, man, all they had to do is like when they first started explaining all the Sage of Six Paths lore and everything, they just needed to show like some kind of image of her, like getting like the chakra fruit or whatever. Don't even have to reveal who she is yet. Just plant the idea that there's some mysterious woman from the ancient past, and then slowly build up to it. Have like the real Madara talk about her when he first shows up in the war. Like, just slowly build up to it. That way we have Kaguya in the back of our heads. That way when she shows up as the final villain, it's not just like, where the fuck did you come from?
Right. So there it is. There it is.
See, that's why, like in One Piece, like people like Emu like got introduced in like chapter 900 something. And like people were saying, oh, this is going to be another Kaguya situation. I'm like, no, it's not. If Emu's the final villain, we've had already 200 chapters setting up Emu.
Yeah,
we never got that with Kaguya.
No. But I got something to ask you. You talking about Naruto, we got away from Dragon Ball Z, but I will ask this last question about Dragon Ball because I'm going to have to leave eventually. What did you think about the arc in Naruto with Sakura and her daughter finally releasing her Sharingan? That whole story arc right there.
Wait. Why did she activate her Sharingan? What happened?
She couldn't activate it. It didn't like really come to her. She couldn't do it. So it was a story arc where I guess somebody were cloning these little.
I know what you're talking about. The Shin Uchiha stuff.
Right. What do you think about that? What do you think about that arc?
Man, fuck Sasuke. Like I remember the scene where he showed the fuck up, had a sword up to his daughter's neck because he couldn't even recognize his own fucking daughter. What the fuck?
Sasuke be on some shit sometimes. Sasuke is on some, ever since he lost his arm, he's just been he's been on some shit, man.
Are you saying Naruto's like looking at him and like behind his back he's like, man, ever since he lost that arm, he's not been the same.
He ain't been the same. He's been a little bit of fidgety lately. But I know. I think that arc was pretty good. I think it was one of the better arcs. Because we got to see Sakura come back and be Sakura.
I thought it was ridiculous how they were like playing the whole thing of like, well, is she like, is Sarada actually Sakura's daughter or is Karin the mom? I remember.
Right. That was so. I mean, I think that was kind of funny
because she was like, why am I different? Why am I more like her? Why my mom is stuff like you see what's the name? Sakura on the couch like sleeping, snorting and stuff, and like and her daughter's like the total opposite of her mama. But
can you imagine that shit though? Like if Sasuke had knocked up Karin and then just shows up with this baby to Sakura and he's just like, here, I have this kid now. Take care of her. Bye.
That'd be funny as fuck, man. Papa was a rolling stone. No, I was kidding. But yeah, I just want to ask you that, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I got some things to take care of, man. I just want to stop by and support the show. And y'all, hey, Jesker got a good show going on here, man. You doing some real cool shit. I'm glad there's another anime show that I can come in and talk freely and be a geek and nerd, you know.
Man.
Yeah.
Before you go, are you making a game? Are you making a video game?
I was talking about today. I found a first-person shooter template for Unreal Engine, and I was asking people in my chats, like, should I buy this template and do something like make a free first-person shooter where I would take people from Comic Skate and put them in the game, like give them guns and stuff and run around. Like I was thinking about like making a Frog Tony and a Katie did. You know, maybe use like a Ruby King or something like that, and then you have you know, just doing something fun. You know,
just make a horror game with White Popo. Fuck it.
Yeah, I might do that.
You're in a dark hallway and you just hear out of nowhere. It's like, oh god.
Right. It's just the idea, you know. It's just one of them ideas you get. You know, I'm like, well. You know, I have worked. I mean, I worked on a first-person shooter template with somebody with some testing and stuff like that. I work for a company doing that shit, and it's not that hard to do, you know. But you just gotta buy a template, get your models, integrate the models to the template. But we'll see. Well,
the reason I ask is because like I've got Unreal Engine 5 as well, and like I've actually thought about trying to make a game, but I've not really fooled around with it much. But if I do one, I want to do an RPG.
Yeah, you can definitely do RPG. I have a dude. I got a RPG template. You know, yeah, I got an RPG template. I was working with a friend of mine in the Philippines, and we were going to do a RPG. You know, she sent me, she sent me the RPG template, and she just make a game with it. I said, cool, and it was all Unreal. You just had to make your own characters. You know, the thing about template is you have to make your own characters. It's going to come stock with like NPCs and stuff. And you have to like program the NPCs to say certain things, whatever. That means just simple language, but the structure of the game is there. You know, you can make a cheap little RPG game. You know, for
you know what I like about the Unreal Engine stuff compared to other gaming software is that you don't have to pay them royalties until you hit your first million.
Yeah, that's how they always been. I mean, they've been they've actually changed that.
Did they?
They changed it for the people like me who make movies, you know. So if I own like a big, huge company, like I got like hundreds of people working for me, they'll charge you, you know. If I make a movie and it grosses a certain amount of money, they will charge you for it. But I don't have none of those, so I don't have to worry about it.
Is it still 5%?
I'm not too sure. I have to check it again, but I mean, I'll worry about it if I ever wind up like being successful at a crowdfunder and I wind up making a lot of money. Then I have to hire people to come work for me. You know,
bro. Listen, if I make $1 million off of a game and they want 50,000 of it, fuck it. Here you go.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be much. I mean, yeah, it ain't gonna be much. They don't ask to like kill your fucking company. They just need enough money to keep their shit going. You know?
Oh
yeah. They're making money off of their fucking asset store. They're making money handing down an asset store. They're making money actually licensing their game, their Unreal Engine out to AAA studios. And AAA studios are using their shit. Movie production. Now, like they're getting money from everywhere. You know. because Unreal Engine is an extremely cheap alternative to actually making the sets in some cases. You know,
I appreciate that though, like the way that they're structured and how they do like their fees and everything. It's very pro consumer.
yeah, it is. It's very pro consumer, and they give people like us, the artists, to be inventive. You know, depending on how big of a pocket you got, you can be very inventive. Or if you know how to make assets and stuff, you can make assets and you can actually put them in the marketplace, or you can use them in your shit. You know, it's nice the way they got it. I didn't start using Unreal Engine until like 4 years ago. I was using Maya, Max, Blender, and shit like that. And I was tired of modeling characters. I was really tired. You know, I was like, I wish I didn't have to model characters all the time. Then I got into programs that you can like actually like create your characters and shit like that. And I wound up getting this program called iClone and started making my characters. And then I got into Unreal Engine, and it's been like what I've been doing. You know, and I've been doing good with it. You know, but I got a lot of paid work through working with Unreal Engine because it was just a new thing. You know, after the Mandalorian came out and the secret was out about that, and the secret was out about a whole bunch of other movies using this software to make movies and film with. People got hip to it real quick and started the VFX and all type of people started using it and started making remarkable shit. And next thing you know it, everybody's talking about Unreal Engine this, Unreal Engine that. You know, doing videos, tutorials, and courses in Unreal Engine. You know, this shit wasn't like that like 4 or 5 years ago. Nobody cared about Unreal Engine but the people making games. But now, Unreal Engine is a beast now, especially with the new one 5.5 that's out.
No, man, I put out a video game and I hit like $1 million. Yeah, Unreal Engine can have 50,000 of that. You know what else is gonna happen if I hit $1 million?
What?
I'm quitting this fucking furniture job. I'll never lift a fucking couch in my life again.
Well, I suggest you get into Unreal Engine. I suggest on your free time on the weekend, all right, after you cut the grass, do all the honeydews, I suggest you get into Unreal Engine and spend hours in there trying to find out how it works, man. You know, I can tell you, it took me maybe like something like 5-6 months to get used to the program. And it took me another like 3 or 4 months to actually be able to get in the program and do what I wanted. You know, I'm still learning as I go with this program. You know, all the new shit because like every 6 months a new one comes out. You know, so they love to change shit when I tell nobody, and a whole bunch of other stuff. We were supposed to talk about Dragon Ball, not other week's ads.
Yo, man, it's fine. Like this is your we're breaking your virginity here on the channel. So
yeah. But you need to get back to getting into Dragon Ball. You know, I think we talked about everything for like the last hour, but Dragon Ball. You know, but this is your audience, man. And that's what they want. I'm gonna go ahead and leave you alone. And I'm going to wish you a happy time. So I see you next time on either Ruby Show, Katie Show, or maybe Frog Tony Show.
Yeah, you might want to hop on a Wizards stream.
Wizard never ever tries to stream. He never.
He's streaming on Wednesdays.
Wednesdays. If he posts something up, I'll join him. You know.
Hit him up. We've got like a green room and stuff on Twitter.
Yeah, I know. I don't see him on Frog Tony Show. I think there's probably a reason for that, but you'll probably tell me later.
yeah. I don't want to air out everything.
I don't want you to air out nothing. I just know somebody said something about it today, and I noticed it for real. I'm like, you know what? You're right. You know. But yeah, man. We'll get together and talk, man. You said you want to do a political show, so let me know. You know.
Yeah, I've got a separate channel for all the political stuff, but yeah, I'd like to do that sometime. Yeah.
All right, man. Okay, everybody, I give him his show back. You know, I know I derailed him off of Daima, you know, and you probably got a lot more stuff to talk about, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you do that. I'm gonna get off and let you do your thing, man.
All right, take care, man.
Yeah, take care, dude. See you in the future.
See ya. All right, so let me get caught up with the chat here. Let's see. This confirms that Moro from the Super manga is from the demon realm because he has pointy ears, can perform magic. Possibly, because we'll get into that in a second. That's actually a good segue. We'll get into that into a second. I think we've talked enough about the Kais. Like, I think we talked enough about them earlier. Kai is just manga pace, accurate version of the Z anime, pretty much like that. So here's the thing for me: the English dub. The original English dub, not the Ocean dub, the Funimation dub. Although I do have some nostalgia for Ocean dub, but the Funimation dub, it's not as accurate to the Japanese as Kai, but I still love it because of nostalgia. I'm never not going to love that dub because that's what I grew up with. That's what got me into Dragon Ball. That's what got me into anime in general. I'll always love that dub. Flaws and all. All right. Plus, fuck people who disagree with me on this. The Bruce Faulkner score is fucking fantastic, all right? There is some iconic shit in that Bruce Faulkner score. Fuck whoever disagrees, all right? But let's call a spade a spade. Let's be 100% honest here. The Kai dub, or Kai in general, the Kai dub specifically, is much more accurate. Like if we're just talking about in terms of quality, Kai is a better quality dub. Absolutely. Now, I prefer the older dub because that's what I grew up with, but that's personal preference. But if we're talking about purely in terms of quality, it's definitely Dragon Ball Z Kai. Absolutely. Of course, there's someone above Zeno. It's Toriyama himself. That is surprisingly true. Like Toriyama is actually a character in the Dragon Ball universe, a little Toribot thing. That's like his avatar. But I'm talking about, like, I think there's got to be somebody that's going to be more involved in the story that's actually going to be above Zeno. Oh yeah, I already read that one. Already read the super chat. Broly doesn't become a Super Saiyan because of a crying infant. Yeah, it's because Vegeta's father tried to kill him. We're getting back to Daima. We're getting back to Daima. I like one. This is One Gun's first appearance on stream. All right, like I wanted to chat with One Gun for a bit. Are you staying up until 10:30? Maybe. It depends on how tired I get. If I do, I'm not going to stay up much past that. I'm not going to go past 11 o'clock. No way. I'm tired and I've got to get up early in the morning. If I make millions from my comic, I'm paying off my house, quit my welding job to keep working on more. Absolutely. Dude, if I became a millionaire tomorrow, I'm going into work and putting in my 2 weeks. Putting in my 2 weeks notice, I'm done. And I will never work a regular job again. Period. End of story. Because fuck that. I used to work at Two Men and Truck, and I can say those two. What the hell is that? I've never heard of that. I will say, like, when we're out on deliveries and stuff, delivering furniture, the tips are pretty good, but sometimes you get good tips. Like, I mean, one time I made like an extra $120, but that's not every single time. It just depends on what kind of house you go to. But yeah, what's up, failure? What's up? All right, let's get back to Daima. So I think we talked enough about the Kai lore. Okay, so now we need to move into the next step. So after they get the plane back up and running, they like start heading back out again, looking for the Dragon Ball and everything, and they end up camping overnight inside of a cave, in order to hide in case Goma's soldiers show up. And while they're on the plane, though, while they're traveling, they bring up Degasu and Arensu, Supreme Kai's siblings. And of course, this is where we get the Kai lore, which we've already talked about. But when they bring up specifically Dr. Arensu, they talk about how she's like a wicked scientist and she preferred the excitement of the demon realm over the regular universe. And Degasu stayed in the demon realm because he's very ambitious and he didn't get along with the other Glend. Now, when they bring up Dr. Arenzu, Glorio picks up on that. Glorio is like, he's like very like nervous when they bring up Dr. Arenzu. So the implication here is obviously Glorio might be working for Dr. Arenzu. Like that's who he could be working for. And let's not forget, first episode, he's inside of King Goma's castle. He is hiding in the shadows as they watch the recap of the Boo saga. Who the fuck let him into the castle? How did he get in there? If he's working for Dr. Arenzu, and Dr. Arenzu is like part of the royal court or whatever for Goma, she probably was the one that let him in. So it does make sense. If he's working for Dr. Arenzu, it makes a lot of sense. The question is, why? What is his motivation? What's he getting out of this? And I've heard a theory, and I don't want to take credit for this because I'm not the one that came up with this, but I was watching Jordan the Dragon Lee. Go check out his channel. And he brought up that Glorio's motivation may be this. Glorio wants to dissolve the barrier between the three demon worlds and the demon realm itself from the regular universe. So he wants to be able to move freely between the demon worlds, and he wants people in the demon realm to be able to move freely into the regular universe. And the reason why, because again, and Pansy points this out in this episode, Glorio looks like he's from the third demon world, which is like the lowest like class of demons. It's like, you know, it's like you have you have like a middle class, upper class, and then lower class. The third demon world is like the lower class demons. So he's probably lived a very tough life. And so he's thinking, well, if I can dissolve the barrier between the demon worlds, then I can come and go as I please. People are going to like, I think it's going to be a situation where Dr. Arenzu may be evil as fuck. Like she's using Glorio. But Glorio, like he's working with Dr. Arenzu for a noble cause, which is to end the class system of the demon world, the demon realm, to end the oppression of demons and to free demons to be able to come and go as they please into the regular universe. Like it may be some noble shit like that. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what Jordan the Dragon Lee was suggesting, which goes along with what I've been saying this entire time, which is Glorio is sus as fuck. But I think he's ultimately going to be a good guy. I think he's doing some really shady shit, but he's doing the shady shit for the right reason. You feel me? That's what I think is going to happen with Glorio. And him working with Dr. Arenzu, it's kind of a deal with the devil type of thing. He's trying to do something good, but he's working with somebody that's like really not good. And who knows? Maybe Arenzu's actually a good person. I doubt it. She doesn't get that vibe, but I don't think Glorio's going to be bad in the end. I think he's up to some shady shit, but I think he's doing it for the right reasons. She's going to be a female Dr. Giraud. Ew. I just pictured Dr. Giraud with boobs. Ew. Ew. Stop it. Ew. That's disgusting. No. And this does kind of go along with the whole thing about like, these are like reinterpretations of like Mira and Toa, which again, I don't really agree with fully. I mean, there is like a similar partnership going here, I guess, but I don't fully agree with that because again, Toriyama created Mira and Toa. So I don't know. Anyways, so they're camping and everything. He contacts Dr. Arenzu. He's talking about how like, oh, like we're almost there. Like it'll be a couple of more days. So he's working with Dr. Arenzu. it gets straight up confirmed in like the second half of the episode. So they don't really leave it a mystery for very long. Again, to begin with, they like imply it, but they don't leave it a mystery for very long. Now, the thing is, I'm happy about that, because one of the things I hate in any series is when they have something that's like kind of obvious, but they drag it out for too long. So they could have like gone longer with the whole Dr. Arenzu implication, but no, they straight up confirm it in the second half of the episode, which is good, which is very, very good. I talked about this when I did my review of Star Wars The Acolyte, where you have like one of the twins is like framed for committing a crime that the other twin did, and they could have kept like this whole, oh, is this person actually a criminal or not type of thing going for a couple of episodes. But no, in that same episode they confirmed, no, it was actually the twin that did it. It's a twin situation. I'm like, okay, cool because to me, like, there's certain plot points you can drag out for too long, and it's like, just get to the fucking point so we can tell a better story. And I like that they did that in this episode, where they imply that he's working with Dr. Arenzu in the first half, but then they straight up confirm it in the second half. And again, why? The question is, why does Dr. Arenzu want Goku and company? What does she plan to do with them? Like, is she going to capture them and like do some fucked up experiments? Is she going to dissect our little monkey boy? Oh no. That's terrible. But like, she is like, look, like she gives off like major villain vibes. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know Goma is probably, well, like, obviously we're gonna fight Goma at some point. Like, Goma's being hyped up as well as being very dangerous, but Goma being the final villain, I think, is a bit too on the nose. It could be Arenzu, or it could be like one of her creations. Could be one of her creations. But not like Glorio's now like confirmed sus, like sussity sus. All right, like sus within sus awaits you. All right, like on some Kingdom Hearts shit. Darkness within darkness, sus within sus awaits you. All right. So Glorio, the sus is pretty much confirmed, but I still think he's doing it for a noble reason. Arenzu, I think, is a bad bitch in more ways than one. All right. Now, what ends up happening is that like they end up being cornered by like this minotaur in the cave, and he's wanting to eat them. Of course, this minotaur ain't shit compared to Goku, but Glorio's like, I'll take care of him. Don't worry about it. Goku's like, fuck that. No, I'm gonna do it because I like to fight. I'm Goku. Like, like that's all I do. I fight, dog. All right. Like that's my job. All right. And then they end up getting into a fight to prove which one is stronger. And Glorio introduces the concept of magic. Well, it doesn't introduce the concept of magic, because magic's always been a part of Dragon Ball, but he expands on it because, you know, obviously in the regular series, in like the regular universe, like the main thing is ki. Like ki is like the big thing. Obviously, we've had some magical characters in the past, like Bobbity, for example, but ki is like the main thing, the main thing. In the demon world, in the demon realm, magic is much more prominent. And of course, Pansy revealed to us in the previous episode, I forgot to mention this, but in the previous episode, Pansy mentioned like every demon is able to use at least one spell. Like they're able to use at least one type of magic. And for Glorio, it's lightning magic. And there's some really cool effects here. Like the fight between Glorio and Goku, honest to God, the animation is on point. The animation is really, really good, man. Like the animation's excellent. I was really impressed. I was watching this episode and this fight starts and I'm like, yo, the animation's really, really good here. I mean, don't get me wrong. The animation has been good in this series overall, period. But like this fight was like next level stuff. I'm like, this is really good animation. And the lightning effects, really cool. So Glorio, he's getting ready to launch like this final attack. And Goku turns Super Saiyan. Like we got to see a flash of Super Saiyan in the last episode, but this is full-blown a Super Saiyan transformation. And I can't, like, he looks so good, man. Like, I don't know what it is, but little kid Super Saiyan Goku, whether it's GT, whether it's Daima, whatever it is, whether it's fucking Goten, got style, man. Got style, man. Oh, it's nice. And then Gloria fires its last attack, and Goku just stops it with his fingers. Like he like lays his fingers out flat, like almost like a chop, but he goes forward with it and just diminishes the lightning. And I'm like, damn. And Glorio's like, damn. And the Minotaur's like, damn. And then Goku teleports behind Glorio, puts his hand on his back, and he's like, I guess I win. And Glorio's like, I give up. Like, Gloria was not expecting Goku to be that dude. But we all know Goku is him. Goku is him. The definition of him is Son Goku, right? So, yeah, like Gloria, and I think like this is kind of a bit of a wake-up call because Gloria is probably thinking like, all right, I'm going to deliver these people to Dr. Renzu, like we're going to go forward with the plan. And I think he's starting to realize, oh shit, this might not be as easy as I thought. Like, this dude is really fucking powerful. Like, he's that dude. So interesting. It's some interesting stuff. Like, I do wonder how this is going to shake up the dynamic with the group going forward. And obviously the Minotaur is like just stunned. And he's like, you know what? I can skip breakfast today. Like, he patters out, man. He runs back into the cave. And our heroes continue their journey. Now, there is a scene at the very end where Bulma finally gets Supreme Kai's ship fixed. And you have Kibito, you have Piccolo, you have Vegeta. They're getting ready to go out to the Demon Realm. And the ship dies. Now, obviously, what was the dude's name? Hibis, I think it was. Hibis was the dude's name in the last episode. He's supposed to go and pick them up. So that's probably how they're going to get to the Demon World. What's the other thing I wanted to mention? Oh, yeah, shit. Fuck me. Goma in the I forgot to mention this, but Goma in the last episode was like really focused on raising baby Dende. Like, Goma has plans to raise Dende from being a baby again and have Dende create new Dragon Balls for them. Because obviously Neva created the Demon Realm Dragon Balls, but they're guarded by like the giant robots, Tamagami or whatever they're called. And they can't use them. They've never been able to use them because they can't defeat those Guardians. But if Goma keeps Dende around and raises him, brainwashes him, dare I say, groom him? The accusations are coming, Goma. But he's going to get Dende to be his new Dragon Ball maker. He's going to get him to make him new Dragon Balls so they can use them in the Demon World, which makes sense as to why he didn't just straight up kill Dende. Because one of the reasons why he kidnapped Dende, aside from making Dragon Balls, as we learned in this episode, was he wanted to, basically take the guardian of the Earth's Dragon Balls away so they couldn't be used against him, which, makes sense. But yeah, he wants Dende to create Dragon Balls for the Demon Realm. Fascinating stuff. So Dende's pretty much safe. Dende's pretty much safe. He's not, like, Dende's in no danger of being killed by Goma anyways. Because Goma wants to raise him and use him for Dragon Balls, essentially. So Dende's pretty much safe. And that's pretty much it as far as episode 6. I gotta say that I really enjoyed this episode. A lot of lore. The stuff about the Glens, the way that it both goes along with what Toriyama said in interviews before about the Kai race and at the same time contradicts it in some ways is interesting stuff. And now I wonder, when it comes to the Makaio Shin, like Degasu, like Arenzu, like the way it was described before is that Makaio Shin were cast into the demon world. But if the Kais originate from the demon worlds, could it be a situation where Makaio Shin are the ones that just stay in the demon world? Like the other Kais leave, but the Makaio Shin stay. Like I don't know. Like we'll surely learn more in the future, and we need to. All right, so let me get caught up with the chat. Andrew, I'm gonna call it a night here in a bit because I'm really tired, and I've got to get up again early in the morning. I'm just exhausted. But Friday night or Saturday, I'll be doing my review. Either Friday night or Saturday night, I'll do my review of episode 7. You can hop in there. Let's see. Andrew says it's a moving truck company. Never heard of it. I've learned a lot about trucking because of all the freight and stuff that comes in for this job. But she's going to be, oh yeah, the fucking female Dr. Giroux. My grandson made Cell Max. Wait, points at Dr. Giroux. That thing fucks. Yeah, he does, because we know he has a son that Android 16 is based off of, and then he has a grandson in Dr. Hito. I don't really want to think of Dr. Giroux making love, but he did at some point. She experiments on Goku unleashing Super Saiyan 4. If the Saiyans are from the demon realm, and she's aware of that, she may try to unlock their demonic potential in order to use them as a weapon. That could be what she's aiming for, and that could create Super Saiyan 4. Goku stopping the lightning. Yeah, dude, it was awesome, man. It was awesome. Gloria was doing his best Palpatine force. That's what crossed my mind as well when I was watching the episode. I was like, that's Palpatine. That's some Palpatine shit. Yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I need to get to bed. I got to get some sleep. Because I got some crazy shit to do tomorrow. But Andrew, we'll get together for episode 6, the episode 6 review. Because I'm either gonna do that Friday night or I'm gonna do that Saturday night. And I'll just have more free time and I don't have to worry about getting up for work. So, well, I do got to work Saturday, but Saturdays are pretty easy usually. So, but yeah, we'll get together then. Anyways, guys, thank you all for coming in. Andrew, thank you for participating in the chat. Thank you for the super chat as well, my brother. Much appreciated. Failure, thank you for being in the chat. Let's see. The weakest dummy, thank you for being in the chat and participating. I think this is a bot. But if not, Jamie, thank you. But yeah, guys, thank you for showing up. Much appreciated. Much love. And of course, thank you, Mr. One Gun, for hopping on to the stream. Much appreciated. Much love. Making your debut here on the channel. And we got to get together again, my friend, for some political talk over on the politics channel. But that was fun as well. Anyways, guys, I'm going to be on Wizard of Wordplay stream tomorrow. I'll post the information on that when it's ready to go, shortly before we go live on Twitter and my community tab. But yeah, I'll be on Wizard stream tomorrow. And then I'm going to be on Katie's anime show on Thursday. And then I'm either going to stream Friday night or Saturday night for Daima. And then sometime I'm going to do a Nick Rekieta stream because there's some shit going on with Nick Rekieta that we need to talk about. But anyways, yeah, that's going to wrap this one up. Much love, much appreciated. Great episode. See you guys in the next one.